This is the last installment of our commentary on Ice Station Zebra. Due to the continued lack of interest, I am again changing format to the simplest form I can think of. I will summarize the story points and display still images as needed to help convey the action. Maybe a clip or two if you really need to hear dialogue. Hopefully, I can finish up this last 50 minutes of a movie in 15 or 20 minutes. As naval personnel try to assist the survivors, Mr. Jones takes a walk to the actual research station next to the hut. He rummages through some paperwork that doesn't impress him, and unsurprisingly finds a frozen corpse. Being discovered by Commander Faraday, he storms out, pun intended, storms out of the building. Faraday has his own little look around the building. Jones trudges to the next hut, obviously a dormitory. There he finds Vasilov poking around 4 other bodies. Apparently all the various special agents all the governments had placed within the research party. Jones discovers 3 were shot before the fire. Vasilov opines Goodwin shot them before dying in the unspecified disaster that wiped out the base. Yes, a fire, but what was the cause? Intentional? Some sort of explosion? They find Goodwin had a radio and some other unidentified electronic gear that looks like a graphic equalizer, as well as his own weather balloon and tank of helium. Faraday pops his head in again to find that Goodwin was one of theirs. Now, the commander had found a power auger in the shed, sets his radio man to drilling a hole in the ice. Faraday lowers a transponder into the hole to see if they can catch themselves a submarine. The submarine takes the bait. Meanwhile, back at the science station, Faraday again confronts Jones. It seems the commander knows more than he's let on. This revelation seems to crack Jones's facade, and he begins to open up about what's going on, so the two can start helping each other. And boy, do they.
The Russians put our camera, made by our German scientists, and your film, made by your German scientists, into their satellite, made by their German scientists, and that's...
A very pithy comment, and the best line in the movie. A great discussion about what they know, what the Russians knew, and who did what when, and what they surmised happened. Hallowell, one of ours, and Goodwin got in a gunfight. Hallowell was killed, Goodwin was mortally wounded, but managed to torch the whole place before dying. And a long explanation of what they're looking for and why. The film contains images of every missile base in North America. The satellite suffered a malfunction during re-entry and ended up near Zebra instead of in Siberia, followed by a long discussion of a lot of details we really don't need to concern ourselves with. Suddenly, quiet. The storm ceases. A bit of discussion about tracking devices. Jones makes a smart-ass comment about losing the submarine, just as the conning tower breaks through the ice. Just as everything looks bright, the Russian Air Force appears on the horizon. They send 5 model airplanes flying in front of a rotating rear projection. Cheap. I assume this is how they're trying to find the film. But nobody finds anything anywhere. Only 4 planes this time. Mr. Jones vents his frustrations, which leads to discovering a possibly important clue. He found one of these in Goodwin's luggage. Is there a connection? And this smells like gasoline. Now, there was nothing in there the first time he looked, but now it's full of all sorts of goodies. Maybe a satellite tracking device? A great mystery is about to be solved. Who is the bad guy? Not like there were that many suspects. When in doubt, go with the Russian. Close behind the fighters come the transports full of paratroopers. A somewhat critical confrontation. A short scene, but multi-layered. Vasilov had come trying to find the film or tracker, just like everyone else. Hiding in the shadows, he sees Jones discover it. But he wants it more. So, crowbar to the head. Wondering what to do now, he surveys the area and is suddenly aware that Captain Anders had followed him. Vasilov has his gun ready, as opposed to Anders, who, very un-Marine-like, is just carrying his. With Vasilov firmly in control, we established that Anders was beginning to suspect Jones, and as we already know, Jones thought it was Anders. Holding Anders at bay, Vasilov racks his sneaky Russian brain to find a way to make this mess work to his advantage. He comes up with a bizarre idea and commands Anders to beat him to death. I can't even begin to figure out what he's thinking. Anyway, he almost succeeds and then almost fails until Jones comes to and misinterprets the wrestling match in front of him and empties his clip into Anders, who seems a bit confused. Gunshots attract the others. Vasilov has to think quick to explain it. Now, although what he says is the absolute truth, it's not really what actually happened. And Vasilov points out the stash from the tank. Jones is not fighting off the doctor. He's trying to reach the tracker. Faraday's not impressed with the finds. What's that beeping noise? The beeping noise you'd hear if the orchestra would shut up. Vasilov conveniently finds the tracker. And the goodest goody of them all. Well, they found it. Now to get it out. Those are some awfully big snowflakes. Now a real storm is about to begin.
Get it out of there.
A bunch of forced, polite talking, pretending to be diplomatic and such.
We have come to recover a certain capsule, which was taken from an element of a certain satellite.
Just keep the babble going while we deal with the icebound capsule.
The instrument you see is an electronic detonator. It is tuned to an exploding device, which is incorporated within the capsule.
Where have we seen one of those before? While Ostrovsky gently threatens our boys, giving them 2 minutes to comply, Vasilov continues tinkering with the capsule. Jones tosses him a phony film canister, calling him comrade. Comrade? He knows. How? Did he know before? Was he actually conscious during the exchange with Anders? We will never know. Not much in the way of dialogue from here on. The visuals tell the story quite well. Too bad I can't show them. Faraday tells Vasilov to put the whole thing back together, which he somewhat reluctantly does. The commander asks the colonel if the 2 civilians can leave the immediate area. The colonel permits it as long as they move
away from the submarine.
And the 2 minutes is up. Actually, it's been 3 minutes, but hey, it's a movie. Faraday gives Ostrovsky the capsule, not very gently. The colonel takes the capsule back behind his lines and discovers he's been bamboozled. The Russians fire a few mortars, which seem to only spread smoke. Vasilov makes a break for it, Jones giving chase. They tussle, and Vasilov's gun fires, serving as a trigger for everyone else to commence firing. Orlovsky and Faraday both shout at their troops to stop shooting. Eventually, they stop. Jones gets the best of it, choking Vasilov, possibly crushing his windpipe.
Give him the film, Mr. Jones. Give him the film.
Lieutenant Walker gives a master class in how not to be a hero. How is Vasilov still alive?
Would you like to ride in my beautiful balloon?
Commander Faraday, you may send your medical men to attend to your lieutenant.
And you, Colonel, can pick up your man.
I don't think they want him.
Monteferdi, a capsule has been destroyed. Our mission is therefore accomplished, at least in part. Your mission is also accomplished, to the same degree. It is unfortunate that the officer was shot, apparently, by accident.
Yes.
A little bit of sweeping it under the rug. Just another governmental cover-up